Fiji's squad for the Autumn Nations Cup is out. Remember, they are now coached by Vern Cotter, formerly of like Montpellier and Scotland fame. Be interesting to see how his appointment goes. He's named his first squad, like I mentioned. Now, there's a number of guys in this squad that I look at, and some of the names seem vaguely familiar. Obviously, some of the guys are absolutely world beaters who essentially anybody who's even half a rugby fan will know. And then there's others who maybe only local or real hardcore Fiji rugby fans will be aware of. So I will certainly take any comments on some of these guys, who we should be looking out for aside from kind of the big name players. Because, there's certainly a few missing from the World Cup squad that played last year. And, some that return, actually. One name in particular is back from kind of the wilderness in terms of playing for Fiji. So, I'll go through the squad. The guys who I'm aware of, I'll try and make a little comment on. And we can talk about their fixtures as well. But I will definitely be reading the comments on this one for sure if anyone knows more about these players, basically, because like I said, there's a few guys who aren't all that familiar. Some are like the props. You got Ironi, Maui, Penny Ravai, and by the way, Fijian names traditionally are among the hardest to get correct, and I will get many of them incorrect. So anyone who's got pronunciation tips as well, I always welcome those. I try to get the names right where I can, but Fijian has got some rules with the way the pronunciation goes that makes it kind of hard to stick in my brain how to get it right. So anyway, those two guys, Maui and Ravai, World Cup guys, so pretty familiar. Hareeti Hitit, Mitre 10 Cup, I think he plays for Waikato, but other than that, I think it's his first call-up. Samuela Tawake, also Mitre 10 Cup player. Misake, is it Doge or Doge? I don't know. I'm sure he's been capped by Fiji before, but not a guy I think went to the World Cup. And a few local players. This guy, Jone Koroi Duadua, I think he played for the Drua in the Aussie competition, which is good to see a local guy getting called up. Dolokotu and Matavesi, that's Sam Matavesi. I think his brother has retired, the fly half. But Matavesi was kind of the go-to hooker. Dolokotu has been in the squad for what seems like quite a while. And Ikani Vere is also another one of the Drua guys. So that's kind of your tight forwards. Oh, well, your front rowers anyway. Locks, Tavita Ratuva, Leone Nakarawa. Nakarawa, I think everybody, like he's so far, I think the biggest name on that list. Like just one of the best locks in the world. Got the hands of a guy who plays 10 and yet he still plays in the second row. He's played in the back row a wee bit as well, but really great to see him there because he is absolutely world class. Timo Mayana Vanua, I think a Mitre 10 Cup guy, and Chris Menimbi, I think is a Drua player. So Nakarawa, I think is probably the biggest name, maybe by Ratuva as well, but there seems to be a little bit of inexperience in the locks, but that's good that you got a guy like Nakarawa you can learn from. Loose forwards, you got Mesulame Kunavula. I think he's a sevens guy. I don't watch anywhere enough sevens to comment about what he's like. Do let me know. Kiteone Kami Kamika. I think he's a debutant as well. I don't think he's played for Fiji before from what I read about him. Johnny Dyer plays in France. Albert Tui Sue, lock loose forward, plays for London Irish. I've seen some of his highlights. Seems like a bit of a big unit. Manueli Ratuni Yarawa. Remember, that's not Api Ratuni Yarawa, who's not in the squad. So I believe he's a local guy. He seems to be one of the local call-ups. He's got a famous surname. I know the surname, but I don't know Manueli. So hopefully he goes well if he gets some game time. And Lakima Tangitangivalu plays for Po, so plays in France. So the loosies, I feel like, is the one area you're missing. So many of those kind of big names. I know Viliami Mata is injured, so he's got to have surgery, so he's not available. But there's no Yato. There's no Wangani Porotu. There's no Kunatani. There's some big names missing that were like the key guys in that World Cup squad. There's no Thavubati in the second row as well. There's no Kampisi Ma'afu in the front row. There's no Saulo as well in the front row. So, yeah, there seems to be a ton of forwards missing, but replaced by some, I guess, seemingly quite young guys or local talent, which is good to see if those guys are able to come through as well. I just haven't seen them play, at least not enough to really comment about them. Lomani is the halfback. Probably he'll get the first choice. He plays for the Rebels. He's a really good player. Quick pass. Matawalu as well. I think he was in the World Cup squad. Plays for the Drua last I checked. And then Simeone Kuruvoli. I think he's a local player. I don't know much about him. I did read in one of the Fiji Times articles or something that he was one of the kind of local guys who was selected. Ben Volavola plays in France. He seems to, him and Matavesi used to get the call between who gets the 10 jersey for Fiji. He's inconsistent, man, but on his day he can be a world beater. And other days he'll frustrate the heck out of you because he'll make kind of simple mistakes. But when he's on form, he's a real classy player. Tui Draki Samu Vodre, I think I saw he'd signed for the MLR, but I don't know much about him as well as a 10. I think he was signed by the Jackals or something in the MLR, and they were talking him up, so hopefully he's a good player. Now then you get to the midfielders and the outside backs, and you get probably a fair few more familiar names as well. I mean, Semi Radradra is on current form for Bristol, just playing maybe best player in the world level. The guy is just an absolute phenomenon. Everybody knows him. I think anybody who's picking a World 15 generally picks All Blacks and Englishmen and countries that have won World Cups, South Africans. But Radradra pretty much makes it into everyone's World 15. Or if you pick them, no one's going to criticize you because that guy is just an absolute world beater. He does stuff, offloads, beats tacklers. He sets up so many tries. He just does stuff which doesn't seem possible. Botia is there as well. He was another key man for the World Cup. You got Seru Pepeli Vularika. I think he's played for the Drua. From when I quickly looked him up, it says he's a 9 or a 12, which is an interesting kind of combo. Not many guys float between those two jerseys. I know Augustine Pulu did that when he went to Japan. He transitioned from 9 to 12, but it doesn't seem to be that common from my experience. And Fatupua plays in France as well, so there's a fair few options there. In the outside backs, obviously you got world-class guys every position. You got Nayatha Levu, who can play in the midfield or the outside backs. You got Nandolo, who's back. I think he's got a bit of experience with Vern Cotter before, so maybe that helped him convince him to join back up with the Flying Fijians after he seemingly retired. That guy can do it all as well, man. He's a big unit. He's got some gas. He can kick goals. The guy is fun to watch. And it's great to see him back playing for Fiji. You got Joshua Tui Silva as well, who is, again, he's not that tall, is he? But he's built, man. He's a hard man to bring down as well. And then you got Muri Valu, who probably plays fullback, I guess, by the look of this team. And, man, also a very, very dangerous player. But, yeah, it's a bit light on some of the kind of big name, especially the forward guys. I'm sure there's some of the guys in the backs I'm missing. Vetokani is one guy who was a pretty regular guy, kind of transitions between 10 and 15. I don't think he's all that old as well. He's not in the squad, so I'm not sure if he's injured. He may well be, but yeah, it's an interesting looking Fiji squad. They start their campaign off against Portugal on the 6th of November. I guess that's a kind of game to get them warmed up. And then in the Autumn Nations Cup, they've got France, Italy, and then Scotland. So 3 games in 3 weeks. If you include the Portugal game, it's 4 games in 4 weeks. So you got 4 weekends of constantly seeing the Fijian guys play. That's going to be great to see. A lot of these guys are based in Europe, but as I said, a lot of these guys also seem to be getting call-ups from either the Drua or local teams which is just, yeah, man, that's great to see. It's going to be great exposure for these guys, and it's great to see that guys who are playing locally can still get selected for the national team because, I don't know, man, there's just something about seeing a guy that plays for your club locally that's just kind of extra special. But yeah, we'll see how they go. There does seem to be some guys missing, but I don't know whether that's guys retiring. Like some of those guys that I mentioned, like Ma'afu, I think Wangari Borotu, these guys are, I think, on the wrong side of 30, so maybe they've just decided to kind of focus on their club careers and give the national team a finish. Maybe some of these guys are having visa problems. I know some of the Argentinian guys couldn't get visas or whatever it was to get out of the UK to play in the rugby championship. So with COVID, man, there's all kinds of stuff going on. But the idea of getting Fiji on the park, I think obviously will be good news for Fijians who are living at home and abroad. But I think honestly, man, everyone loves watching Fiji play. So all the neutrals out there will be keen as punch to see guys like Radradra, Tui Silva, all those big name backs, Nakarawa, the world-class guys. And then I'm sure we'll see the emergence of some of these kind of maybe lesser known guys as well. But as I said, if you do have some insights into some of these guys, I certainly don't get to see the guys playing in France very often. The guys playing in Fiji, I probably have never seen before in my life. The Drua, I think I've seen only a handful of NRC games in my life as well. So, yeah, any insights, very much welcome, guys. But, yeah, Flying Fijians, wish them luck in the competition. When it kicks underway, it's like 3 weeks until that first game against Portugal, man. So it's not that far away. So, yeah, you guys let me know what you think of this Fiji squad. And, yeah, I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.